Welcome to the Kill Count, where we tally up the victims in all our favorite horror movies and show you how they were made. I'm James A. Janice, and today, at long last, this one's for you, Adam, we're looking at Hatchet from 2006. The aughts were a fraught, confusing time for the genre, with waves of trends like Eastern film adaptations and torture porn. But one thing was sure, the slasher was dead. Its post-Scream wave broken against the shore of the millennium. That's why Adam Green made Hatchet. He wanted a throwback slasher like the ones he grew up watching in the 80s.
How's it a horror movie if it's PG-13? Like, if I'm not gonna see some nudity and some gore, like, don't waste my time.
Thus, the movie's tagline proclaiming it's not a remake or sequel, or based on a Japanese film. It's just old-school American horror. Hatchet is as Friday the 13th as the first 4 Friday the 13ths. It's got what horror franchises are made of, and appropriately has 3 sequels of its own. Hatchet 2, Hatchet 3, and Hatchet... Oh, wait, no. The 4th one's called Victor Crowley. That's also the name of Hatchet's Jason Voorhees, played by frequent J-Man himself, Kane Hodder. He ain't the only horror legend here either. This movie's rocking him like it were Wishmaster.
It's kind of fun to see all the old ghouls together, Candyman and Jason and Freddy.
Hatchet loves being a horror movie. It's in its DNA. It's a capital S slasher, and if you don't like those, well, you'll probably find a lot of faults here. The characters are mostly nothing, the aesthetic is mostly bro, and the story is mostly people running around in a swamp. That's it. It's cheap and dark, and even at 82 minutes, there's a lot of third act padding going on. But hey, the cast is good, and I can't emphasize this enough, the gore is incredible. Okay, have I hyped these kills enough yet? I mean, the answer is no, I can't possibly hype them enough. So let's get to them. The movie begins with a father-son swamp trip. Gotta love gator hunting with your pops. Unless your pop's an asshole like Samson here, played by Robert Englund. Best known, of course, as Professor Wexler in Urban Legend. Sorry, I'm just joking. He's best known as the art collector in Wishmaster. Oh, and also Fred. His son Ainsley is played by Joshua Leonard, doomed backpacker from the Blair Witch Project. Ainsley returns from a pee to find his dad's cameo already over. Damn, only lasted 5 minutes. He arms himself with a fence post, looking like Tommy Jarvis and Jason Lives. But not even the real TJ could survive Victor Crowley's attack that comes out of nowhere. He beats Ainsley against a tree and rips his freaking arm off. Holy shit, yeah, love it. Then he punches into his back and rips out his heart. Take that, you stupid heart. How you feeling about this, Ains? Yeah, sure looks like it does. The opening credits are a frat-tastic party in New Orleans with beer and boobs galore, and at least one metallic gentleman. It's a stereotypical Mardi Gras for stereotypical characters Ben and Marcus. And they're awesome friends, like Charlie, Dwayne, and I don't know, big-ass beer guy. But these beers might be too big-ass for Ben, who's sick of these sophomoric delights.
Haven't you seen enough boobs?
What? He's sad because his longtime girlfriend just broke up with him, and these boobs keep reminding him of hers. These scenes were shot on location in New Orleans, one of the last film shoots before Katrina hit. They couldn't believe they got to shut down Bourbon Street for their little horror film. Writer-director Adam Green cameos as one of the nameless bros.
What, so you can sit in your room and cry about Heather?
A bunch of the crew played extras here. Producer Sarah Elbert plays a puking girl, and their Steadicam operator plays a guy who almost gets hit by a bus. Ben splits, hoping to find something more cultural. Marcus is a good enough friend to join him, even if it means no more boobs. Ben wants to do a swamp boat ride, but their first choice, Reverend Zombie, says the Candyman can't.
I don't do night tours anymore. I'm not allowed to.
Tony Todd puts in an even quicker cameo than the Fredster when he redirects them to another swamp boat captain down the road. And just like that, he's outie.
I have to go tend to my birds.
Thank you, sir. See you in the sequel. Their Plan B boat ride is at a place filled with bees. Boobies. There's an amateur porn producer there shooting 2 chicks with a camcorder. Great. Now Ben and Marcus both get what they wanted. God bless America. The swamp boat ride comes courtesy of this guy.
Do you do a haunted swamp tour?
Why, I do the only haunted swamp tour?
Oh yeah, this is gonna be a real great time. The Boys and the Girls Gone Wild production join an older couple and a sulky chick. Ben sits next to Sulky and swiftly strikes out.
Some buddies of mine back home went on this tour.
Look, I'm sorry. I didn't come on this tour because I was hoping that just maybe I'd get to meet you.
I mean, hey, she's got a point there, dude. Ben's sad boy character type is usually grating to me, but Joel David Moore actually makes him kinda likable. Moore's known for the freaking Avatar movies, and of course, Grandma's Boy.
Please sit on my face.
Pretty sad that he has just as much game here. Similarly, Marcus's audience surrogate character has a lot of charm thanks to Dion Richmond, who didn't even have to audition for the role. Either Green was a huge Cosby Show fan, or he loved him in Scream 3.
Oh, you motherfucker!
I don't always love the casual improv-like dialogue between these two, but they do come off as real friends, and it's occasionally really funny.
You spot me?
What, you don't have any cash?
No, I'm just not paying for this bullshit.
One thing that keeps Hatchet from being the boring kind of slasher is its humor, which works thanks to the cast. Porn producer Doug Shapiro is played with sleazy perfection by Joel Murray, Bill's brother. His subjects have fun bickering back and forth since one of them's an over-serious trained actor and the other is, pretty dumb.
You're smitten.
Misty is played by another genre vet, Mercedes McNabb from Buffy and Angel. And you can't go wrong with Richard Reilly, last seen on the kill count in Halloween 2, Rob Zombie's version. He provides a great don't-you-know-it folksy presence here as tourist Jim Permatteo.
Nice camera. Making a movie?
What kind of movie is it?
Well, have you ever heard of Bayou Beavers?
Sure. No.
Originally, the Permatteos were racist, but it made them too unlikable, and test audiences didn't find it funny. They cut all that stuff out in the edit. Almost all of it. You can still catch Sharon giving Marcus a dirty look when he gets on the bus. They take off for their swamp tour through the city of New Orleans, with music that sounds like freaking this. That's gotta be an homage to the banjo introduction of Bacon and Pals in the original Friday. Oh, and hey, that looks a lot like a shot out of the intro of Nightmare 2. This is fun. Tour guide Sean, who's not very good at his job, gets them to the swamp and ushers them quickly onto his boat. Seems like they shouldn't be here, at least according to Jack Cracker, your average resident swamp drunk harbinger.
Y'all gonna die.
He's played by the late John Carl Buechler, who did makeup effects for this movie and many others we've had on this show, including a serious list of heavy hitters, and also demonic toys. Buechler was involved with Hatchet way back when they were still trying to raise financing. He helped Green put together a teaser trailer that got people's attention and put him in contact with Kane Hodder and Tony Todd. Todd agreed to a cameo role, knowing his character would have a bigger part in the sequel. The teaser earned 2 other fans who helped get the movie made through their promotion. First, a Fangoria writer known as Rotten Ryan Turek. Wow, he's such a baby here. Turek would go on to be a horror heavyweight, becoming a producer and VP of development at Blumhouse and host of various podcasts. Seriously, dude is everywhere. The other advocate was Brad Miska at Bloody Disgusting, who later brought the VHS franchise to life. The swamp boat ride begins. Not that you can fucking see any part of it. What the hell is this? Hatchet versus Predator Requiem? Your tour sucks, Sean!
Guys, would you just let me do my job? 死吧和成日走講緊嘢。
Can safely say I didn't see that coming. But yeah, aside from a brief Crowley sighting, the tour's a bust. Nothing on it is good.
Your woo is so not in the moment. Yeah, well, your nipples are dumb.
Not even the boobs! The boat hits a tree, gets stuck on some rocks, and the sky opens up like this were Return of the Living Dead. Before you know it, we're getting Titanic up in this bitch. There's shitty bilge rats, and the water gets to map table, so Jim Permatteo tries to lead an escape. He slips and gets his leg nommed on by a gator. Aw man, now how's he gonna jump to conclusions? Surly girly Mary Beth saves the day by shooting that gator. Then everyone shuffles off the sinking ship, and before you know it, it's dung. They go further inland and look at Jim's leg. Diagnosis? It's not good. Sean admits this was only his second swamp tour, and that he's not even a local.
I just moved down here from Detroit.
Okay, but actually Detroit or like Farmington? Because I already don't trust you, dude. We learned that Mary Beth is final girling it up because her dad and brother were the guys who got killed in the beginning.
These are his woods.
Whose woods?
Victor Crowley.
She gives us Crowley lore, complete with flashbacks. Doodly-doo, doodly-doo. Victor Crowley was born disfigured, so the local kids would always tease him. That's why his dad kept him safe in their cabin, where he could take care of him in peace. But one Halloween night, Victor fell victim to a tragic prank. Teens with firecrackers caused a fire that trapped poor Victor inside. His dad got back. From where, dude? Trick-or-treating? And did his best to break his son free. He tried using the titular tool to help, but the hatchet wound up hacking into Victor.
And it was an accident, but he hit him in the face with that hatchet. And poor Victor Crowley died.
And yeah, we're counting VC, even though he's running around killing people in present day. Yet you know how it is with these Jason types. Adam Green first came up with the idea for Victor Crowley as a kid at summer camp. The counselors told an urban legend about a guy named Hatchet Face, but couldn't provide a backstory, so the 8-year-old Green came up with one himself.
All the kids started crying, and the counselors were gonna send me home from camp.
10 years after Victor's accidental death, his dad Thomas died of a broken heart. And maybe like dysentery. I mean, he lived in a swamp. Vic's dad was played by Kane Hodder, the most famous Jason, even though he didn't start until the 7th one. It's great to see him play a sympathetic and loving father, however briefly. Hodder was excited about it too.
I had been trying to do more characters outside the makeup as well.
Hodder was also the movie's stunt coordinator and plays Victor Crowley most of the time. His assistant stunt coordinator donned the costume for the scene where he's killed. Kinda had to. Kane was busy playing his dad. Young Victor Crowley was played by actress and producer Riley Vanderbilt.
And she's walking around the shop with this elephant man deformed face, and then this like little tank top and shorts, and the whole time I'm like, and it was really confusing.
So confusing, in fact, that Green and Vanderbilt wound up dating and getting married for a few years. Ever since his father's death, Mary Beth says Victor Crowley haunts this swamp and kills people. But now that he's killed her people, she's here to kill him, even though he's already dead. How does that work? Never mind, there's this ghostly cabin. Ooh! Sharon doesn't buy this malarkey and wants to get help for her ham sandwich of a husband. They start limping their way towards the cabin. Hope they find someone who can help. Outlook not good. Vic the prick charges at him and starts hacking his way through Jim's shoulder. Oh my god, Richard Reilly's getting torn asunder! Holy shit, literally hacked in half. Amazing. Sharon's days of her lives are over too. Victor grabs her head, and as the camera spins around him, he rips her mouth open all the way backwards. Dear God, this is, wow. Sir, you are an artist. Practical gore was a priority for Green. He said absolutely no CG was used. He wanted to come up with kills people hadn't seen before, and the cast seemed to get a kick out of their over-the-top deaths.
Now is the winter of our discontent.
For Sharon's so-called pop top or Pez dispenser kill, Green wanted to avoid cutting away. So as the camera spins around Crowley's back, an invisible cut goes from a shot with actress Patrika Darbo to one with a dummy. The fake head is then opened up to beautiful effect. Kane Hodder did have to stick his fingers in Darbo's mouth for the first shot, but it seems like she was a trooper for the whole thing. Vic tries to get more Vics, but Mary Beth shoots and subdues him, at least momentarily. He is a ghost after all. Seriously though, how does that work?
My mama always said that sometimes if a person dies all traumatic like, then their spirit can get kind of just stuck in the night they died.
Oh. Okay. We are now in the running in the woods segment of the film, which is not good news for Doug Shapiro, who's running by himself. Sure enough, he runs right into Victor, who kills him by slowly twisting his head all the way around. It spurts blood on trees and shots I'm assuming they filmed with Ainsley's earlier heart chunk, and then his head goes off. The others eventually find his stuff and discover Doug Shapiro wasn't his real name. Wow, who knew Freddie Rumsen had so much in common with Don? Shapiro wasn't a movie producer either. He was a tech company marketer, filming boobies for himself.
I can't believe I've fallen for that shit 3 times now.
Well, why don't you yell at his dead body? Because here it is.
He's still alive.
Are you sure? Because listen, I'm actually kind of a professional when it comes to...
Not him. Crowley.
Oh yeah, that makes more sense. Mary Beth and Ben check out Vic's cabin in the woods, which doesn't have a mama head, but does have the bodies of Mary Beth's dad and brother. She's real sad about it. Actually, great acting here from Amara Zaragoza, who went by Tamara Feldman at the time. Good casting.
She just had this aura about her where she's so beautiful, but you're afraid she might kick the shit out of you.
The others are kind of just standing around when Victor jumps out and sticks a belt sander straight into Jenna's mouth. Nom nom nom. When his sand job's interrupted, he turns his attention towards Sean and swipes his leg off with a shovel. Wow. Don't worry, dude. I'm sure Mary Beth can save you, as long as she's got proper firearm technique. Well, nice knowing you, Sean. Victor kills the tour guide with a beheading via shovel. Underrated murder weapon, honestly. You know, for like a horror movie, not for like me in real life or anything. Victor gets back to Jenna, whose mouth ain't mouthin' anymore, and finishes her off by impaling her upon the upright shovel handle. See, another way to use it as a weapon. I didn't even think of that. Not that I need to, or anything. Production designer Brian McBride built a gas-powered belt sander for Jenna's kill. Looks like it sprays blood out the side for the effect. Then Beekler made a mangled face prosthetic that hid her real chin with dangling viscera. Blood was the name of the game, and everyone on set jumped on the bloody bandwagon.
Not just the makeup people, it's like anybody would come up, you know, one of the grips. Yeah, get a little more blood on your shoulder, bro. Like, thank you, man, I'm cool. Yeah, thanks.
There was so much blood splattering everywhere, they had to wrap the cameras in plastic. The survivors tried to collect their bearings, but Crowley ain't gonna let up on the pressure. Okay, just pitchfork him, I guess. Sure. That gives them a chance to get away again, but they realize they're gonna need to stop him for good or else he'll keep on coming back. Ben makes a plan to light Vic on fire with gas tanks he saw in the cabin. Great plan, except for the part where they all randomly split up. You know that spells death for Miss Misty, who gets left alone and promptly abducted when Mary Beth and Marcus aren't looking. Her head is tossed against Ben as he gathers up the gas, and shortly after, her torso is tossed as well. VC attacks Ben, but with Mary Beth's help, they manage to douse him in gasoline. Then they light him up like a Christmas tree with faulty wired lights. Oh, Kane, always doing fire stunts. I ain't complaining though, I never get sick of them, and I always like seeing them get extinguished on set. The fire finally quells Crowley for all of 2 seconds, and then it starts raining again, which puts him out.
You gotta be fucking kidding me!
The 3 remaining survivors run away until they find themselves in a cemetery. Thank God, a different setting than that fake-ass looking swamp. The majority of Hatchet was shot at Sable Ranch in Santa Clarita, California, which means production designer McBrien had to make a desert look like a swamp. He also built the Crowley Shack from the ground up, then had to rebuild it after a fire marshal said it was too close to some trees. The swamp may not look the best, but to be fair, production didn't have a lot of money or time to work with. An already short shooting schedule was further condensed thanks to unexpected rain and a network TV show stealing their location by parking a helicopter there.
This is a suicidal schedule and we are doing it.
The desert night shoots weren't easy, but Green kept spirits high with his energy.
Yeah, I love you! Woo!
I always love to see a director hype their crew.
This movie's 100 times better than it ever could have been because of this crew.
Victor finds them in the cemetery and chases them once again, at one point tackling and puking into Ben's mouth? What in the Peter Jackson? Mary Beth puts in good final girl in here. She's kicking the crap out of this killer and saving these dudes. But that can only last so long. Eventually, Marcus is grabbed and bear hugged by Crowley, who then rips both his arms off. I love the way Dion Richmond falls there. To finish him off, Victor swings Marcus into a grave like a killer Claudio Castagnoli. Kane Hodder's an intense guy and took playing Victor Crowley seriously. His monster makeup was done by John Carl Biegler, who had previously directed Hodder as Jason in Friday 7. The rest of the cast wasn't allowed to see the makeup before their scenes together. So as stunt coordinator, Hodder worked under a giant coat and visor. Before filming scenes, he would get the other actors scared by screaming bloody murder from afar. It was highly effective. He'd stay in character after Green called cut, too, and continue to chase the actors around the set.
So I would run straight to the producer's tent because I knew he wouldn't go in there. I'd go get behind the monitors.
Green also contributed to this atmosphere, keeping the cast scared through continual pranks.
So there's never a safe moment. You never knew when somebody was gonna scare you.
I still think they're not totally comfortable around me, but that's good.
Victor grabs a spear from the gate and hurls it right into Ben's foot, pinning him to the ground. Instead of leaving him, Mary Beth helps Ben push the pole forward, ripping open his foot, but also impaling Crowley through the neck when he runs into it. Very final chapter-esque finish for the big bad, with a nice little blood spray as punctuation. But of course, I ain't counting Crowley again, because we all know that guy ain't really dead. We'll confirm it in a minute, right after Mary Beth gets her Alice moment. She has a boat, she has serene music, she has supposed safety as it drifts away from shore. But wait for it, wait for it. Yep, there it is. Mary Beth's pulled underwater like that naked chick in Friday 7. She gets stuck on some plant life, but thankfully sees Ben's hand reaching down to help her. She grabs it, only to discover that Ben's severed arm is being held by Victor Crowley. Ben is bleeding out in the boat, and the movie ends with VC screaming into Mary Beth's face. How many bodies were fished out of the water in Friday the 13th Swamp Edition? Let's find out and get to the numbers. What? Little firefly friends? Oh my God! Wait, we're going somewhere? Where are you guys taking me?
Go into the numbers. Go into the numbers. Go into the numbers. Taking you all the way.
I counted 11 kills in Hatchet, and most of them were real gory. The victims consisted of 8 men and 3 women, a more than 2-to-1 ratio of dudes. This count and breakdown's been seen twice before on this show, in Freaky and Social Mediassicus too. With a runtime of 84 minutes, Hatchet had a kill on average every 7.64 minutes. I'll give the Golden Chainsaw for coolest kill to Sharon Permadio. Plenty of awesome kills in this thing, but that head rip is a masterpiece of sundered skin, and the tongue sticking out vertically at the end is a nice touch. Dull Machete for lamest kill will go to Samson at the beginning, but hey, Robert Englund spent enough time in the makeup chair. I'm glad he didn't have to get like a life cast or anything. And that's it. Hatchet came out in 2006 and made most of its money through DVD sales, because that was a thing that happened back then. Maybe one day I'll cover the sequels, but until then, I'm James A. Janice. This has been the Kill Count.
On the next Kill Count.
Hey, be good people, it's Dead Meat Video.
Hey, we're the team at Dead Meat Video.
Here with another Kill Count. I'm sorry, are we really doing this?
Yeah, do we have to?
Yeah, guys, it's part of the franchise, so.
Okay.
Here's VHS Viral!
VHS Viral's wraparound vicious circles is a love story about a boy, a girl, and his camera.
God damn it, Kev. No one to turn the thing off.
He wants to get famous with a viral video or something. I seriously don't know. It makes no fucking sense, and it's shot like garbage.
Keep going, we can edit that out.
Dante the Great is a faux documentary about a trailer park magician and his magic demon cloak.
There's no such thing as magic.
Yes, there is, because only magic can explain how James got me to watch this thing.
Ta-da.
Parallel Monsters is a multiversal telenovela about a scientist who creates a door to another dimension.
Cuando cruces a mi lado, empezamos a contar.
Hey, not so fast, amigos. That's my trabajo. Try to keep it in your pants.
Bone Storm is fine, and it follows some skateboarders across borders. Specifically, the Mexican one. That's where the donkey zebras roam free and the locals are just super friendly.
Ustedes darán vida a nuestras adorables criaturas.
Will they survive this skating sesh with Satan? Well, only if they get some help from the local authorities.
Oh, fuck that, vámonos!
So this week, watch VHS Viral.
Dude, Chelsea's gone.
Then on Friday, make sure to tune in for the kill count.
Seriously, your wife is missing.
Only on Dead Meat.
What is wrong with you?
Wow, that's disgusting. Should my kid be watching this? Yeah, Dead Meat Video.
Save yourself. Save yourself.
Okay. The VHS Viral can currently be watched on the pictured streaming platforms if you want. Dead Meat always recommends you watch the movie for yourself before its kill count. It's the only way to have your own properly informed opinion. Kill counts are never meant to replace the experience of watching a film.
Thanks a lot for watching this Hatchet kill count. I see writer-director Adam Green at a lot of conventions. He's like best friends with Joe Lynch, who we're really good friends with. And every time I fucking see Adam at a convention, he always harasses me and is like, where's the Hatchet kill counts? Where are the Hatchet kill counts, James? Well, here you go, Adam. You happy? They exist. Or at least the first one exists. Truth be told, I haven't seen any of the sequels, but I will. I promise I will. Danielle Harris is in them. Shout out to Jordan Good for making the music for that To the Numbers bit. We've been utilizing him a lot lately. He makes great work. He can replicate like any song and make us a copyright-free version of songs that we want to imitate. So like the Return of the Dead To the Numbers bit, the VHS song for the VHS franchise in the trailers. It's Dead Meat Video. All Jordan Good's work. Good work. Thanks everyone. Be good people.